the time, right? Please, next slide. Can we have the next slide, please? Okay, thank you very much. Okay, in the same vein, for Discasio, one of the services that we offer, or one of the values that you're going to be getting from Discasio is that we try to reduce business risks. We try to lower your risks as much as possible. We also improve performance by leveraging insights to improve sustainability and corporate transparency. All of this done through technology. And then we also help in offering these services. We also help in growing your revenue as well. And then next is that we also increase operational efficiency. I mean, in the 21st century, if you're not using technology, your efficiency for your staff will actually be questionable. So that is part of the things that Discasio services helps your business to achieve. Also, we help in transforming. Please, next slide. Can we go to the next slide? Okay, thank you very much. So, in the first slide, we talked about business transformation, and really that is the main thing that Discasio is focused on doing. We try to transform your business, and we do in the ways that we do it in envisioning, we do it by alignment, and we also do it by launching. And once you launch, we also make sure that your business also scales to the next level. Next slide. Okay, we also reimagine your business, right? And we talk about the technology. Technology is one of the very first ways that we can use to reimagine your business by migrating and modernizing your legacy infrastructure, application, and data analysis platforms as well. And then we also try to reimagine your organization by streamlining your operations model to create customer value and match your strategic intent. And then the process that we use is we digitize and automate, which we'll be talking about today, automating your business processes and optimize your business operations. So we automate, digitize, optimize your business operations. And of course, we also offer products that can transform your business model to create new value propositions for your products and services and revenue models as well. So thank you very much for joining us today at Discasio. I hope that we'll be having a great time talking about one of our processes, which is automation. So thank you again for joining us. So I know I have been talking since I joined, so I would like to really have a mood check quickly in the room. How are we feeling? Are we expectant? We can use our emojis to respond. We can use a chat room as well to respond. How are we feeling today? Are we happy to be here? Are we expectant of what of our topic today? How exactly are we feeling? If we can use our emojis or our chat box, it would be great to have a feedback. Okay, great. Thank you. I can see thumbs ups. I can see a round of applauses. Oh, very good. Oh, someone's feeling very cool. Wow, this is great. It's going to be a good day. It's going to be a very good discussion. I'm happy that a lot of us are really quite expectant and ready to delve into today's topic. Now, for today's topic, we have a very, very interesting personality in the house. He's always smiling. In my mind, I've never told him before, but I think I always say he is a smiling guy, and he's part of the brains behind our product in Discasio, and no other than Jafar Alabi. He's a seasoned digital strategist and product leader with a strong track record of driving innovation. Please mark that word, a strong track record of driving innovation and digital product strategy for products and businesses across all industries. So he's not just focused on a particular industry, but he goes on to all different industries. In his free time, he consults for startups, leverages his expertise in product strategy and design, go-to-market, monetization, growth, and more. He also mentors product professionals through the Intelligence People UK. So he's not just a product designer, he's not just a professional, but he's also a mentor. And he has contributed tremendously to various fields of products, of to different products in various industries. His contribution in driving digital transformation through build capacities have been recognized through accolades such as the 2022 and Dealer Community Award for Collaboration and Integrity. I mean, who other than to speak to us today other than Jafar Alabi himself? Well, very, very much welcome, Jafar. Can you say hi to us? Hi, Jafar. Can you say
Hello,
hi to us?
hello.
Hi,
Good
Jafar.
afternoon.
Good afternoon. Good
It's
to
a pleasure
see
to
you
be here.
today. Thank you for honoring our invitation. We know that you're a very busy person, so it's an honor to actually have you here today with us. So I think we can dive in quickly, so we are not too much behind time. So we've been hearing business automation, automate your business processes. What does automation actually entail? Can you take us into a deep dive? Thank you.
Great. Thank you, Mama. It's a pleasure to be here. Hello, everybody. Thank you for joining us here on this webinar. I'm going to go ahead to drive us through business process automation. So the topic is driving innovation and productivity through business process or workflow automation, however you may call it. But then invariably, this is about the processes that you put together to run what you call a business today. For different businesses, this will be different processes, but one way or the other, you have certain processes going on at different units, at different levels of your organization, and that is what signifies the business you're running. So how do you then automate those processes? How do you automate around the workflow you have today to drive innovation and productivity for your organization? That's what we'll be talking about today. We'll be going through the concept itself and tell us ourselves about how and why and what exactly you should automate, as well as introduce us to an amazing platform for business process automation. So business process automation simply just helps you leverage technology to automate all of the operations and functions within your organization. So think transforming your current manual processes into an automated process that can run on an autopilot, that can run themselves, they can move from place to place without somebody having to come do the reminders or somebody having to chase through stuff. So it is automated because it is backed up by a system. So think automating routine tasks that you do, on a daily basis or weekly basis, maybe, a couple of times even in a day, that processes that are that heavy, you have to do this and that, to make sure things are running fine. So business process automation helps you to increase productivity and operational efficiency. It also helps you minimize errors. So because when the process is automated, there is a flow that has been drawn and there are certain systems that have been put in place. It means everything has to follow the set rules and conditions so you can minimize errors happening. So somebody doesn't get to say, oh, I forgot that we needed to attach stuff, because you've already implemented something that makes it compulsory for you to attach that stuff. Of course, this will be different from person to person, from process to process. But then the goal here is you're able to minimize error if you're being able to lock things down within within an automated process. So you're also able to reduce cost in terms of how much of time it takes for you to run these processes. So if it takes, when you're making it manual, if it takes, say, 3, 4, 5 days to run, now that you're automating some parts of that, say decision making, for example. So let's look at an insurance underwriting process where this has to go to an expert who has to then sit down to consider some metrics and then try to calculate, something. Or think of a loan loan company where somebody has to, I mean, lots of loan organizations obviously do not do that anymore. I mean, all of these systems are now automated. But imagine if every time there is a loan request, you then have to sit down and then calculate something, put something together. That process will always take so much because there will be so many people on queue, and we will be relying on, a couple of people to have to come sit down and do these deductions and make those decisions. But when they are automated, when you have all of the rules and conditions that are needed automated, it means you can save time that you can invest in something else. I mean, more strategic and value-adding activities. One more thing is you can standardize and optimize your process with insights from your automated process. So one very important thing that people gain from automating their process is you get insights end to end, because this is not resting in somebody's table somewhere. Somebody can be sitting centrally and is able to see end to end what is happening from the beginning to the end of that process. You get to see how long things take at each stage of that process. You get to see, some of the hookups or some of the bottlenecks that might have happened and that might be delaying that process. And you get to be able to optimize on the basis of that insight they have gotten from that. So yeah, there are quite a lot of examples you see out there around automated processes. Think of employee onboarding, where you have to manage form submissions across, maybe the employee bio data has to submit that has to go from one department to the other. That you want to set up training, you want to get activations across different departments like finance, activating accounts and stuff. IT setting up, resources. And couple of you could have different units in the department that have something to do with a new employee coming in. So automating that process end to end makes sure that you can get visibility across the process and things can move seamlessly and collaboratively between all of the units that are concerned. Procurement is also something that is very much well automated now. Purchase order management, where you can then streamline approvals. So your approvals could go from wherever it needs to start. So think of a big organization that has branches nationwide. Say you have about 10 branches in one single state. So you can imagine, and you want all of this to go through a central, coordinating office to get approvals for all procurement. This is easily done when you have an automation system in place, because you could connect all of these different branches together through that system and make sure that the approvals are well coordinated and you make sure the standards are well followed. So internal service requests, whether that's customer requests, whether that's support requests, support departments who want to track the request, it could be internal. It doesn't have to be external support. Like for big organizations, you've got big organizations where you basically have to support like a large staff strength, and then you want to be able to coordinate. We've seen some of our partners do this, where they use that to then coordinate or manage requests coming from different branches across the organization. So sales order processing is also one of those things. All in all, what we can see from all of these examples is that you're able to improve accountability, you're able to boost transparency, you're able to ensure that you've got accurate and accessible records for all of your stakeholders. So yeah, we're in that age of technology and innovation. So you have to always adapt and optimize and innovate. Every now and then there are new technologies springing up, and you have to, really be able to measure up for you to get success in your organization. You want to, you're always in that pressure to increase your efficiency. Can we do this thing better? Can we do it for a shorter amount of time, right? Is there a way we can improve the delivery of these services? And the best way to be able to do this is when you have an automation process in place. So innovation is always key. You can see this connection we have here between your customer, the speed at which you can deliver, your access to data, and how the data then fuels innovation that you can translate into satisfying your customer better. So why automate your business processes? So there are lots of reasons why people automate business processes. First thing is that for organizations who still rely heavily on manual processes, where digital transformation is not really a big thing yet. I imagine that lots of organizations use one or two digital tools and productivity tools, but yeah, it's different organization to organization. But business process automation is that very good, gateway for any organization to get into digital transformation. Because instead of thinking of digital transformation from a top level of, connected things across the organization, you can simply pick out processes that you feel need to be optimized, and then automate them gradually. So you automate one process, you automate the next process, 3 is now 10, and before you know it, you are then a digital first organization. So business process automation is that, very easy, especially when you're using an easy platform to do that. It is that very easy, gateway for you to enter properly into digital transformation. So yeah, I think I mentioned this earlier. You can enhance your process visibility with this because you are able to see everything at every stage. Of course, depending on the access that you have on that space, you're able to see, at the first stage when this person is making the request, this is what request they have made, this is how long it took to make that request. Then at this stage of approval, when it is at so units, this is how long it has taken, these are the actions that they have done about that. You're able to see exactly what is happening. And optimization never happens without visibility. The only way to truly optimize stuff is to gain that real visibility. You see how things are. That's like the first stage to then be able to optimize. When you understand, okay, this is what it is, then we can talk about how do we grade from here, from point A to point B. Do we do this in 7 days today? How can we take that to 3 days? Because we can see exactly what points we spend the most time. That helps us to understand what to optimize. We see that, for this, reimbursement requests, we take about 7 days to process them, and there's been complaints from employees that we need to process this in 2-3 days, for example. It's easy for somebody to sit down and then look at, okay, let's look at our entire process. What point are we spending the most amount of time? Because it seems at this stage we're spending like 3 days. How can we cut that to 1? So it is a very good way to enhance visibility across the process and then improve on the basis of that. You can also promote consistency. So one thing that's important for organizations is that you want to be consistent, right? You want the delivery to be the same for person A and person B up to person Z, right? And the best way to do that is when this is locked in an automated process. It means I don't just come today and then feel like, should we start from here? No, let's start from there instead. Well, whether it is by omission or commission, it won't affect, the kind of consistency you are hoping to deliver as an organization. And of course, this boosts your customer experience because things are, better set and, you can deliver things smoother and faster with less errors. So yeah, this just sort of gives you the comparison, the pain points with manual processes and the opportunities you get with automation. I think we've gone through some of these things, so I'll just move through that. So what should you automate? What exactly should you automate in your organization? So one of the things you want to try to automate is high volume of tasks that require multiple people. So you want to try to automate this kind of task first. Then you want to look at things that are time sensitive in nature. You want to look at things that have significant impact on other processes and things that need compliance or audit trails. So if your organization that is very serious about compliance, you want to automate your processes because that's one of the best ways to be able to audit stuff because you can see exactly what happened at each point and you can then do whatever you want with that, see what is being compliant or what the teams might be dropping the ball on exactly. So the question here is, what processes or activity in your organization comes to mind here? What processes or activity do you think qualifies for automation? I'd love to see our answers in chats while we go ahead. Do we have any answers? Okay, see something drop in chat now. Okay, repetitive tasks. Okay, do you have any particular ones that you want to highlight, like say your HR process, finance? Yeah, the question is, what process in your organization do you think fits in as something that you should automate? That's the question. Based on what we've talked about, I spoke about high volume tasks, right? Tasks that you do repetitively tasks that require a lot of people. A lot of people have to collaborate on them. It has to move from table to table to table before it is completed, right? Reporting, great. Reporting, billings, marketing to be automated. Beautiful, beautiful. Approvals, web script, leave approvals, beautiful, beautiful. Keep the answers coming in there. Keep the answers coming. Routine operation tasks that need documentation. Beautiful, thank you. Great. Okay. So let's go on with this. I'll come back to read more of the comments we're having. So now here are some of this. Let's see if what you've written already fits into this. This is some of the things, some of the business processes that people automate today. Customer onboarding, employee leave management, vendor management, requisitions and reimbursements, agents onboarding, assets management, procurement and product launches, bug logging and tracking, internal service requests, sales orders, time and attendance tracking, security, incident response, faults resolution, service request. So these are some of the things. Again, this is unlimited really, because it really is about your own organization. You understand best what things, what exactly are the pain points and what are the things that you really want to automate. So how should you automate? So now that you've identified some of the things that you would like to automate, some of the things you want to do first is to start with a clear understanding of the tasks and responsibilities that are associated with that process, right? As well as the execution time and how long does it take to. So you want to understand, okay, so this process, how does it work exactly? It starts from Umama, then goes to somebody else, then goes to that person, then goes to one head of something, then this person acts. So you want to understand exactly how that task moves from beginning to the end. You want to understand the exact requirements. Maybe some attachments needs to be there, maybe some emails needs to be sent, maybe it could be so many things, but it's very much important for you to have a successful process automation to thoroughly understand that process. If you thoroughly understand the process, then you'll be able to effectively automate it. You also want to clearly define the goals when you're trying to automate the business process. What is the goal here? Are we trying to optimize? Are we trying to track? How long does it take for us to do, each of the tasks in this process? It could just be about anything, but be clear about what your goal is. It really helps in designing how exactly you want to go about your automation, right? You also want to measure your results. How do you want to measure results, for this process once it's automated? So maybe, your success for you is that you're able to sort of reduce the timing, or you're able to reduce the errors. So maybe you want to track how many successful requests have been processed. You want to track how many of those requests had errors in them. So exactly what you're trying to track, the results you're looking for, will really help in designing how you want that to look like exactly. Then you want to invest adequate time in training, the employees, the people who are going to use this process, the person that's going to initiate, the people that are going to approve. You want to take them through this so they understand it, they see how it works exactly. They agree that it fits into how they want to deliver that process. So there has to be that, cordial relationship. You want to bring all of the stakeholders in as soon as possible, as early as possible. And of course, instead of having to build systems from the scratch, where it then takes your engineering or technical team like 6 months, 1 year to be able to build a process or develop a system from the scratch, you want to use ready-made solutions like Plug that allows you to automate your business process within a twinkle of an eye. So your business automation platform needs to have some of these things that we have here. Workflow management. So how do you workflow is basically, how does this thing work? What is the flow of your work? So I mean, that's the most layman way I can put it, but I'm sure we as experts here we understand what a workflow means. You just want to paint or describe a diagrammatic representation of how things flow. So your leave approval process, your procurement process probably starts from a staff member in a unit that needs, that item, and then it goes to maybe head of procurement to then do some research, around vendors, do market survey around the prices. Then it wants to go to. So having that workflow, how does it move from place to place, is very much important. And being able to draw that on your business automation, business process automation platform is as important. So you want to be able to schedule tasks and automate them. You want to be able to monitor the processes. You want something that allows you to integrate, across different tools and software that you might be using. You want to be able to get notifications, whether in mails or in the app itself. You want to be able to set user roles and permissions, right? So for example, you might not want everybody to have access to the same things. There are certain information that, in your organization should be accessible to only a certain category of people. So you want to also be careful about that. So customizable templates. Yeah, you might not want to start building things from the scratch yourself. So it makes sense when you have templates accessible to you that you can just pick from and then, tailor to what you need exactly, and then deliver on that. Then finally, you want reporting and analytics, right? You want to be able to, look into the insights, be able to get the data from your process and be able to use them for whatever it is you want to use them, in terms of analyzing how this has gone through, analyzing the results from that, analyzing the content in that. For example, what you want to look at is, okay, say employees, for example, you want to see the content, like what detail was submitted, and you want to be able to use that for other processes. Okay, so introducing Plug. So Plug is our business process or workflow automation platform. It basically helps businesses streamline their workflows, helps them to unlock real-time process insights, and boost their operational visibility. Without writing a single line of code, you don't need to code or know how to code at all to use Plug. So what Plug does, to put it in the most simple way, is connect people, systems, and processes. Connect everything together, to be able to help you achieve productivity, help you work better, faster, and more efficiently. So on Blog, you've got lots of features. We can bring all of that in this page, but then things like a drag and drop AI designer that allows you to design pages or forms that you can use in your process to collect data. Things like a visual and automated workflow where you can drag nodes, and show how things work. I'm going to show us that. Your integration to other platforms, data reports and analytics, easy app maintenance. One of the biggest problems that we've seen is that it is as important to be able to easily maintain or update your process as it is important to be able to build fast with it. So things change, right? I mean, in an organization, they could make a decision today and feel like, oh, we're not running that process that way anymore. We want to add something else, or want to remove something else from that process, based on what we feel should work now. So you want to have a solution that allows you to easily maintain and update that. And that is Plug. So I'm going to run us through a quick demo of Plug right now, so we see how that works, and then we can ask questions after that. So let me share that. Great. So welcome. Like I said, there's quite a number of things you could do with Plug. And I think I should share my entire screen, so this is easier to flip through windows. All right. Okay, so I think we're up now. Okay, so we're gonna need to drag this away. So on Plug, you can access the different apps you have created for different stuff. You can see a procurement. You can see them in categories that you have here. These are some of the processes that have been created on this particular organization, from service requests, incident management, quite a lot of them. Of course, you can't go through all of that. I'm just going to run us through one of them, so we see how that works, and then we can ask any questions we may have. So let's run through the procurement app. So this particular app basically manages a procurement process end to end, from the initiator trying to create a particular request to another person doing the approvals and all of that. So I'm going to use two different accounts to simulate somebody creating and somebody approving, just so we can see how that works end to end. So let me start from here. This is another account. And then we'll use the other account to approve that process. So this is a very simple and straightforward process. Your process can, and I mean, this is for the purpose of the demo. Of course, your process can go as lengthy as possible. I mean, this form could be as long as possible. You could also customize things like, your headers, have your logos and things like that, make it as beautiful as possible. So let's just fill in some stuff here. So let's say we need to buy laptops, 10 of them. I hope whoever I'm sending this is going to approve that, so I can share new laptops. So, and let's say you can add any comments, then you can add multiple requests right here. Say you also want to buy, I don't know, notepads. I mean, just about anything because of time. Sample. So let's submit this request, and that's all for here. Okay, great. So this is done. So I'm going to go check my mail to then confirm that I have this. So a mail has just dropped to tell me, I mean, this account is the approving account, to tell me over there we have this particular request. So I'm going to then try to attend to that request. So you can customize emails in blog, like the kind of emails you want to send. This is just a sample email that was just dropped here for us to see this. Of course, you can customize this further, to whatever level of detail that you want. So the manager here is able to then go to approve this request or reject it, or pass it on to the next person as needed. I'm going to share the behind the scene of this for us to see, but let's just run through this. So this is me now as the manager. I can see what was filled previously, right, by this other person on my Safari browser. Now I'm back as another person here. I could approve this, or I could decline, right? And on your workflow, I've already defined what happens when it's approved, when it's declined, what should happen. So let's say this is good to go. So the good thing is every step of this process is recorded, so it can be expected. So you can see what the requester did, you can see what the manager also requested, and all of that. So the rest of the approvals, I'm going to run through this same account so that things can be easier. You can see that a mail has been sent. I have assigned a procurement task, so I'm supposed to go there to just go approve that. So when you go there, you can see that we have the previous details of people that have done this, and then the procurement officer can then do their market survey and say that, oh, vendor AA and Sons is going to whatever that is. I mean, for a laptop, upload something, a quotation that they have sent here. Let me see if we have something very small here that I can use. Well, okay, good. This is something. So let's say that's a quotation. Of course, you can upload just about anything, and then I can add a comment, say, this is vendor one. I can add multiple vendors, by the way, for different things. And then I can say that, yeah, that is the result from the research that we've done, right? Submit this. Now, this also goes to the next person. They get the mail, and they're able to do whatever they want to do with that as well. The next person is supposed to be the head of supply. They can also, select which of the vendors they have selected. So let's say for laptop, out of 7 vendors, we have selected the winning vendor, right? And then I'm uploading an LPO to that effect, and I'm submitting this. So you can see that this is helping bring almost everybody involved right in the same process, and it is automated. You get the mail when it's your turn. You can you also get one interesting thing aside to getting mails is that you get to see the record of this, as you do that, right? So you get to see the records here. So and you could filter this by items that are pending for you, so you'll be able to know exactly what is awaiting your distance. So this is the request that we currently started at 12:38. And you can see that this is in progress and is awaiting a CO approval, right? So this is what was defined in this particular process. So Plug also allows you to be able to view the process end to end and see, all of the tasks as they are going. So if something is stuck somewhere, for example, so let's say this guy didn't approve, it's still pending here. You're going to come here and you're able to see that, oh, head of supply didn't, we didn't do the approvals yet, and it's been like, you can see the time. Oh, this has taken like 3 days or 5 days, with them. They're yet to do anything. So you're able to, act on that. So for example, this guy is pending. One thing you could do is you can send a reminder to this person, or you can reassign a task to another person. So this is one of the things you could do with Plug. So if things are taking too long, I feel the person that is assigned to that task is not doing and delivering within record time, you can just take everything. And you can see the entire time, this entire process. Aside the time for each stage and each task, you can see the time for the entire process has taken about 4 minutes, which is just since we have started this demo. So I'm going to go ahead and just complete this. So let's say that, yeah, the CEO is approving this LPO, saying, yes, let's buy, and submitting that. So of course, we're also linking this to finance to actually do the payment. So this could go as much as you can. Again, there is no limit to how long this can be. It's just really about your process. And that's why I mentioned earlier that you want to understand your process and then build that and factor that in what you have. So what I just did now was the confirmation of the head of supply to initiate payments. And once that has been done, somebody confirms that payment has been initiated, and then this goes to finance that would confirm that the payment has been made, and this process will end right here. Now that is end-to-end of a procurement process, which will typically almost be the same for quite a lot of people, but there'll be a little bit different here and there for different organizations. Maybe you don't have all of these stages or all of these levels. You just have 3 or 4, or you have maybe more than this, right? So again, it's really up to you. So finance is now saying, yes, this has been paid for. You can upload your payment advice, to be able to see that. And by the way, when you upload stuff, it is always visible, not just the form you fill, right? So you'll be able to view this, you're able to download it, right? Within the process, so long that I've given access. So this is a beautiful laptop, or this is not a laptop anyways, this is a desktop that we want to buy. Just about anything you want here, and I'm going to click on the submit. When this is submitted, there is a notification that goes to the initiator to say, yeah, congratulations, this payment has been made. So we're going to go check the other mail to see if this person, okay, not here, good. So see if this guy got, good, congratulations. So say, your procurement request has been successfully paid. Again, the content of the mail, you can totally configure to what you want. So that is a process end to end. Now, let me show you how this is made possible within Plug, because this is not magic coming from elsewhere. You don't have to add codes, try to do stuff like that. You can directly do and edit that process right within Plug here. So you can see right here from the design, you can see all of the forms that you just saw at different stages. There's a way to select what you want to see or what you want to hide at different stages. So for example, you realize that while we had all of this designed, the first guy didn't see all of that. He just saw this. You can decide what you want to allow them to see or you want to not allow them to see at different stages. And this is the workflow that manages your process end to end. You can see the procurement order form, the manager's approval. You can see the market survey that came in. You can see the head. So this is basically done by dragging nodes. This node here, you can just drag a node and name it and then set up what you want to happen in that node. You can also add other things like computations that you want to do. And when that ends, you can see the mail node that sends the notification to the initiator when that process was completed. So each of these is fully customizable. So for example, say I want to change the the content here and say, oh, why is there no congratulations here? So let's have that here. It is very easy to do. And you can just save this message and that's it. You already have this and you can publish this up again. You could change stuff. You could add new, in fact, I added this mail note just before this call, just to simulate the fact that, okay, yeah, you can still get a notification to somebody. Very easy to do and easy for you to drag in or drag out, different nodes, and just add it in as you need. So I'm going to take a pause here right now to see if you have any questions before we go ahead. Thank you very much, everyone. Before we close it, yes, Plug is that place you can derive or drive tangible outcome. You can boost your productivity by automating all of your manual work. You can fuel innovation so that you have more time for strategic initiatives, right? You can achieve cost savings when you use Plug because you can reduce errors. You can optimize resource allocation. And I'm going to leave you with this Bill Gates quote that says, automation applied to an efficient operation will magnify the efficiency, and automation applied to an inefficient operation will magnify the inefficiency. So, question for you, now that you've seen all of this, what process will you automate first for your organization? I'd love to see your answers in chat. Thank you very much, guys. Have a wonderful one.
Well, thank you so much, Jafar, for that very, very insightful session. I mean, you can see lots of people are happy with how the presentation went. But before we take questions, we would like to take a poll. And then after the poll, we can take questions. I see questions are already coming in on the comment section. But let's take the poll first, and then we'll take questions. So you can keep gathering up your questions, gathering your thoughts, and as we take the poll. Thank you so much again, Jafar. Okay, so the poll is up. We can kindly take a few minutes to respond to that poll, and then we'll take questions. Thank you very much. Okay, so I would read out some of the questions and you would respond to them. So number one question is, how mature is your organization's workflow automation? I'll take it again. How mature is your organization's workflow automation? 2, what's your biggest workflow challenge? 2, what is your biggest workflow challenge? Okay, I think we can move up now to the next questions. We can scroll down to the next questions, please. Philip, you can scroll to the next questions, or do we have just 2 questions?
Yeah, you can scroll on your end.
Yeah, can you see it?
Okay, great. Yes, sorry, I was trying to scroll, it wasn't scrolling, but I got it now.
All right.
Thank you so much. So if we are done with the poll, can we just give a thumbs up so we can go into our question and answer session? We're done with the poll. Thumbs up, please. Thank you. I see one thumbs up. Another, thank you. Thank you very much. Thank you. Okay, thank you very much. I think we are good now with the poll. We can move on to our next segment, which is the questions session. Okay, so we have a question here, Jafar, from Folakemi. She's asking, she said, is the plug free? Also, is it included in the Microsoft list of apps? So Jafar, over to you.
Yeah, thank you. Plug is not included in Microsoft list of apps yet. But then you can access Plug directly from our app from app.plugonline.io. So you are able to book a demo directly, and you'll be able to get a hands-on experience to get our team drive you through what this is going to look like. You get to set up a POC as a proof of concept, and you will be able to see things for yourself, like around the process for your organization, right? At least one or two processes for your organization before this is deployed fully for you. Plug is not free. But at the same time, you don't have to break the bank for it. It is way, 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 way more affordable than all of the other alternatives that you have out there. And the fact that it is a homegrown solution also makes it something that reduces your worry of having to manage payment of USD dollars and all of that. Because yes, you can just do your naira and you're fine. It is affordable, and then you don't have to stress over payment with Plug. And yes, that will be it. And this is our
Okay,
process. I'm just sharing my screen. This is the process. You get a
okay.
demo. You can book a demo, and then you'll be able to get everything you need.
Okay, thank you very much, Jafar. Folakemi, I hope your question was answered. If it was, you can just give a thumbs up to know that your question was answered. So Priyanka is asking, she says, what is the cost of plug?
Well, it is resource based. It's not a blanket cost. You do not have to pay for what you don't use. So again, the best way to go is book a demo. Our team will run you through, understand your processes in your organization, what you need to automate, and then you'll be able to get a very affordable cost for that.
Okay, thank you. And also, you can get in touch with one of our sales reps. I think some of them are here. So if we could display some numbers of our sales specialists, it would be great to help them, catch the numbers, or on the chat. It would also be great to do that, so they have a quick response as they leave this call. Okay, so I have another question. Okay, so Taiwo is asking, can automation be performed on retail to sales workflow? Can automation be performed on retail to sales workflow?
Yes, definitely. You could automate that process. Again, it depends on how does it work for you in your organization today. Like I mentioned, all you need to do is draw that flow. How does it work? It starts from who, and then what do they do in that process? Do they have to fill a form or submit some details, upload some stuff? Then after that, what is going to happen next? Do they need to send to somebody for an approval, or do they need to send to a client, externally, or invite a vendor or something? Then where does that go next? So long you're able to draw out that process, where does it start, where does it go, where does it end, then you'll be able to automate that.
Okay, thank you very much. And we have another question here from Obiwu. From Obiwu, who says, is Plug as robust as Power Automate? Is Plug as robust as Power Automate?
Well, the comparison, there isn't a direct comparison to do, because again, it really is up to what you're doing. For Plug is a workflow automation software, specifically for things around automating your enterprise processes, so and integrating external applications. So yes, Power Automate is also able to do something like this. And when you say as robust as you want to go into specifics of what exactly you're talking about, because there are different ranges of features. But then if you're talking about robustness, Plug is robust. You're able to automate the process end to end. It could be as long as what I just showed, or it could be as short as possible. And you are also able to integrate, certain processes. So let's talk about what your process is, and then we'll be able to walk you through the process of getting that automated with Plug.
Okay, thank you very much for that response, Jafar. We have another question that says, can it perform in a CA firm? We give services in taxes. Can
Well, again,
Plug perform in a CA firm? In the CA firm, we give services in taxes.
so again, like I mentioned, the process is really about defining or drawing out what that process is like. So yes, you could use Plug in your organization, but then the question is, what kind of processes do you want to automate exactly, right? There are lots of lots of processes that are automatable for that kind of organization. So then you want to look into what process do you want to start with, and clearly define what that is, and then see how to build that out with Plug.
Okay, thank you for that response as well. Okay, so I have another question here. It says, what limitations does Plug have comparing with Power App and Power Automation? What limitations does Plug have?
So, well, Plug is suited for your end-to-end workflow automation. Um, I don't know if you want to refer to that as a limitation, or Plug has its forte, right? I mean, where you have a workflow, what I did earlier, I mean, sharing my screen will show us our workflow builder and our UI builder that allows you to build up different kind of things and forms and stuff. There are other things, right, which we didn't get to because of time, like the dashboard where you could build visuals and analytics for that, your data sheets where you could manage something like what you have for your spreadsheets, where you could then do different stuff. I'm trying to bring that back up. Okay. So so for example, the process that we just ran through, the process that we just ran through, you could see you could tie this to a data sheet and look at what that is. Again, your data sheet is just like a spreadsheet option that you have in Plug, where you can create things, rows and columns, and different things, and then you're able to map your data to those columns exactly. So that is what Plug does, right? So long things are within this, yeah, and I wouldn't regard that as a limitation. It's really about, this is what Plug is about. So if there are other things that you want to work out with, other social, there are quite a lot of automation applications out there. But where you talk about, building a process from end to end, visualizing how that looks like in your workflow, and integrating to applications like your a couple of applications that you could have, like your Gmail, your Google Sheets, and a couple of other applications that you have out there. If that is what you're talking about, then Plug is very much well suited for that.
Okay, thank you again, Jafar. We have a question here that says, does Plug provide for reporting? Can it be linked to Power BI?
So yeah, Plug allows you to do integrations to different tools. Our Power BI integration is not available as of yet, but that is going to roll out quite soon. You could integrate to external databases. You could integrate to Google Sheets. This is some of the integrations that are already available. As for Power BI in itself, that is something that is also going to roll out very soon. But so let's talk about it. and see your process. And before you're even done building your process, probably you might have that soon. While you don't have Power BI directly, as of right now, you can have quite a number of other options. We've got organizations who link this directly to their Sheet app or to another database that they use today. So that could be an option as well. And as well, I mean, while Power BI is going to get to the fore quite soon.
Okay, next question. I think you've answered it partially, but this person is asking, what connectors does Plug have, like compared to Power Automate, UiPath, Automation Anywhere? They have connectors to a vast amount of services, e.g. Google, Dropbox, Netflix, Azure. So I think you've answered this question. It's Plug is open
Yeah,
to,
so Plug
yeah.
has a growing list of things you could connect to, and I mean we're ever trying to grow that list as well. At the same time, we have capabilities for REST APIs and webhook, so which basically allows you to blanket connect to quite a lot of applications, right? Whether you want to, listen in to events, through your webhook, or you want to connect through REST APIs, you could do that with Blog, and you have direct connectors already built for some applications. And like I mentioned, that list is growing.
Okay, thank you. So to our last question for the day, is payment on Plug on annual basis or just a one-time payment for what you use?
Yeah, so payment on Plug is an annual subscription. Again, it is for what you use. So it's not a blanket fixed fee that you have to pay regardless of what. So it's the billing, the payment is structured across according to usage. So you want to speak out to some of our team members, and they could run you through exactly how that works, and you'll be able to get started.
Okay. Wow, it has been
But one thing,
such an...
I could
Okay, go
assure
ahead,
you,
please.
one thing I could assure you of, by the way, is Plug would be the most affordable solution you'll find, and that's because it is really built with, African organizations in mind, and the goal is to, as much as possible, try to help us do these things without having to worry or stress about, currency exchange and all of that.
Okay. Thank you so much, Jafar. It's been a very, very insightful and interesting session with you. Thank you so much. Please, we can give him a round of applause. Let's give him his flowers. He's been speaking for over 40 minutes, answering our questions, introducing us to one of the best automation products out there, which is Plug. Thank you so much, Jafar. It's just been awesome with you today. So do you have any last words for us before we call it a day?
Yeah, I'll just end it with that quote from Bill Gates that I mentioned earlier. So a lot of the time, people people do not understand that process before they try to automate, and that creates problems, right? So you want to understand your process, and that's all you need. That is the requirement, that is the prerequisite to a successful automation. So being able to plan your process end to end and getting the buy-in of stakeholders. We've seen processes where, somebody in, say, IT or one unit feels like, oh, it should be this way, and somebody in another unit feels, oh, no, not that way. So you want to get that buy-in, so everybody agrees that, yes, this is how this flow should work, and then automate that. So if you're able to clearly define your goals, then you'll be able to successfully automate your business processes, and you'll be able to get the gains from that. Wish you happy automating your business processes, and see you next time.
Thank you so much, Jafar. Thank you one more time. Definitely we'll be having you again on our webinar series. And to everyone who has been here right from 12 noon, some of us before 12 noon, I want to say a very big thank you for joining us today. It has been such a very enlightening session with Jafar Alabi. Please make do well to reach out to us via our website, reach out to us as much as you can so we can help automate your process using this very innovative product called Plug, and you would indeed get the value for what you have signed up for. So once again, thank you for joining us, and we still remain Descasio, bringing you your favorite webinar as always. Thank you so much, and do have a wonderful weekend as you round up your week. Thank you. And I remain your host, Umama. Bye for now. Bye-bye. Oh, yes, Chinedu, you can work on that. You'll be able to get the recording.